Good morning, YouTube. Rick here. Lala Farm. It's really nice. It's a really nice morning. Despite all this crazy news on television, we're taking the boom off right now. Dad's in the process of doing that. We're gonna go ahead and stick the auger back on, and we've got a couple more posts to set or to put down into the ground for the goat barn. And so we're gonna we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then after we get those posts set, might be able to maybe do one of the gates. But the goat pasture is getting, or the buck pasture is getting really close to at least being able to contain animals. So that's what we're doing right now. I think Dad needs my help. I'll be right back. Anyway, we're reinstalling the auger. Got a couple more posts set. These are going to be for actually 6x6s, right? Yeah. So we're installing some 6x6s in the for the barn. Put up the gates and the siding. It's not going to be. It's going to be very similar to what we have right here at the main barn. It's going to be a lot smaller. It's going to have a lean-to roof, just enough to disperse the rain. That's about it, folks. So anyway, we're going to get working on that. While formulating a game plan, we're trying to figure out whether or not we're going to actually sink these 6x6s in with concrete for the barn. And my dad was outvoted. I feel like there should be some concrete. I think my mom felt like there should be some concrete. So there's going to be some concrete. That's where we just went to Ace Hardware in town. And so Monster's going nuts. Apparently Lala put him in isolation. He's now hanging out in a kennel. He doesn't like that. Alright guys, we're about to set our first post for this barn.
Outside of that auger on that line, or is it over?
Alright. You're going to have to back it up a little bit whenever you set it down. Alright. Back up just a little bit. Alright. We're setting it in.
Well, what do you want to do?
Let me get. Is it good?
Looks good.
I shaved some off the side.
That one's pretty full out. We don't lift these things twice. 2 inches of that's going to be taken out by the board, and then we can, just like over there, we can wrap wire around that remaining gap.
Alright, so we're going to take a break for a little while and let the Quikrete dry on the post that we just set for the new buck barn. And one thing we tried last year was bees. And since last year, it's kind of been tasked to me to kind of take more of a role in the bee project. So what we're doing today is we're actually taking these nuke kits that we had bought last year, and we're going to be using these nuke traps or nuke boxes as traps. We're going to be converting them over and setting them out, and goal is to hopefully catch a swarm, and then we can use those bees this year for our bee project. Right now, going into spring, it's like prime time to do it. If it doesn't happen now, then preferably we don't want to have to buy a nuke. So, but something we're doing right now. We've been going to there's a beekeepers club out here in Baker County, and they have meetings once a month, and the guy that puts on the meetings pretty knowledgeable about bees. He's been doing it for a really long time. So we're going to be doing this, and then we also have Bee Fest next weekend. We have Bee Fest next weekend that we'll be going to, as long as all this virus nonsense doesn't completely stop that. They don't cancel it. We'll be doing Bee Fest next weekend, so I'm sure we'll get some footage of that. But today we're just kind of setting them up to put them out and hopefully, like I said, catch a swarm. In the front of the box, we're placing a 1 1/4 inch hole. putting a 1 1/4 inch hole right here dead center. So that'll be the entrance in which they actually go into the box. Then at that point, you know, it is suggested that you also put a hole back here with some mesh to kind of help with ventilation with inside the box. But as long as the bees are relatively calm and you don't have the box out in direct sunlight, Dad seems to think that that's really not needed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to end up skipping that step with the hole in the back. It also has to do with the fact that we don't have any small mesh right now. So what we'll do is we'll after we get the holes drilled on the front, we'll go ahead and we'll put in the slides or the frames. One of those will be a frame that has comb from last year on the hive that we lost, which we're trying to replenish right now. Because as of right now, we are sitting at 0 bees. And then but we'll put one slide with comb in it already, and then we'll put a couple empty frames in there just to kind of open up the box. That was one of the recommendations at the bee meeting, was that instead of completely filling it with comb that is ready to be capped and all that kind of stuff, you go ahead and put some empty comb in there, and it kind of lets the bees know there's plenty of room for their hive, or for their colony.
For their colony. They're going to come in and they're going to measure the inside dimensions of this box to make sure that it's going to be sufficient for their swarm. So they'll come in, they'll measure it. So we're only going to put one frame in that has comb. The other ones we're going to use frames, but we're going to have them build their own comb on those, and then leave it for a bit, and hopefully they'll build out this box, and then we'll swap them into a full-size deep box. And so that's the plan. We'll see if that works.
Well, that was luck.
That's just a 1/4 inch hole saw that we're using to drill this, and then that will be the entrance. We're going to drop, we're going to block the main entrance into this so that all they have to enter this is just this little 1 1/4 access hole. And then we're going to, our bait that we're going to use, last year we bought some bait from Man Lake Bee Supply. This year we're just going to use what's been recommended by our bee club, is just using lemongrass oil. And the gentleman who runs that club has caught 4 swarms already this season, within a couple of miles of where we are. So that's what our plan is. Hopefully we'll catch us a couple of swarms. So what we're doing now is we're taking some wax from the beehive from last year. So we're just stripping that, and we're going to melt that down, and we're going to use that wax to line the frames that you saw Little Rick working on earlier. Once those are done, they've got the little strip on the top and the bottom. We'll line those with this melted down beeswax. That will act as an attractant, and they should build comb right where we put on this old wax after it's melted down. So basically this is on an artificial base, meaning that's this yellow stuff down here. This is really a plastic that then's coated in beeswax, but it's what's called an artificial base. So this is all comb, honeycomb. This had honey in it last year from the old hive. So we're just stripping that off and kind of melt it down. So this is all No kidding, fresh bees wax here.
For the day. I'm tired, Dad's tired, Lala's tired, kids are tired, either tired or running out of things to do. So now they're getting obnoxious. So anyway, we didn't get a ton of stuff done. We just had a good time, more or less, hanging out on the farm. We got 2 posts set. Got 2 posts set way over there. And that's for the barn. They're barn posts, 6x6s. Got them concreted in the ground. Dug another hole for a 3rd one. Dad looked at me and he said, "You look like you're exhausted." I agreed, and now we're done. So we did hang out in the barn for a little bit longer, or the shop a little bit longer, because the plan is to go ahead and get some bee traps set out. As you guys saw earlier, we had 2 nuke boxes that we converted into traps, and we put lemongrass oil, essential oil, get from Walmart, GNC, somewhere like that, and we rubbed it all along inside this hole right here, and then just did a circle. You can see the circle. So, and then we put them up on 6-foot ladders, like so, and then bungeed them on there. That way they really can't go anywhere. So we got another one out by a tree way over on the other side of the property. So everybody's more or less just cleaning up now, and we're gonna call it a day. But another day down on the farm, absolute blast. And I guess we'll wake up in the morning and do it all over again. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are hella awesome. You guys have been showing a lot of support. Shout out to Michael Harris. Every single week we put out a video, every single video. He's like the first one to watch it, first one to comment, first one to like. So we appreciate you, man. There's a lot of other ones that do the same exact thing, a lot of other subscribers, a lot of other viewers. And like I said, we just appreciate every single one of y'all. Appreciate the support. But like always, you guys make sure to like the video if you found it entertaining, or if you found it knowledgeable. And see you on the next video. Thank you.